If I'll be following them, I may just be cooking for Valentine's Day. I might just stick to that, Teresa.
Oh, there you go. That's probably one of the best presents to give one of your sweethearts. A lovely cooked meal. Jenn Press Arata is here. What are we making for Valentine's Day?
This is That's So Jenn's Raspberry French Toast Casserole, a decadent way to start the morning.
Wow.
Sweets for your sweet.
I love that. This is your own recipe. You created it.
Yes, I did, as are most of them. And this is a great one dish. So it's a fantastic thing you could actually make ahead. And you can not only have it for a romantic morning, breakfast in bed, but it's also something for kids. So if you have a big family, no matter how many people you're entertaining, and a lot of people think about dinner reservations, but they don't really necessarily think about breakfast. So here's something that you can still go out at night and do this in the morning. So should we get started?
Absolutely. Show us how to start.
Okay, so the first thing is this raspberry compote. So we have fresh raspberries, of course, washed, and we're going to add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. And if you have a specialty shop near you, I actually use chocolate balsamic vinegar sometimes, which kind of just spruces things up a little, but regular is great. And just a little white sugar and just a dash of cinnamon. And then we stir it all together if you want to do the honors.
Sure, I could do that, Jen.
And then we just let it simmer. And it's going to turn into this beautiful compote right here. It's almost like a jam. Very good. And this will be one of our layers for our casserole. And over here we have our bread, if you want to switch with me. Okay, so I use cinnamon swirl. You can use anything you like, but I thought so too. Kind of that like morning cinnabon thing. So we have that here. And we have 4 eggs. So basically we're just going to start like we're making French toast. You know, with the storm, everyone's stocking up on their eggs and milk and bread. So I kept joking with my husband that the only way to survive the snow was to make French toast. So now you can.
Well, more snow this weekend, so.
I know, maybe you'll be snowed in. I mean, Valentine's Day is on a Saturday, so this is perfect morning breakfast. So we're just going to add a little bit of milk and a little drop of vanilla for sweetness. And then we'll coat it just like we would any normal French toast. And then it gets layered. So what's also great about this is you're not worrying about all the pans and, you know, kind of frying it up and cooking, easy cleanup because it's one dish. And if you have kids at home, you can get them involved too. So I buttered my baking dish. As you saw earlier, I used a heart-shaped dish. So if you have that at home, that's great. And we're going to just get all these coated. We want to kind of knock off some of the egg batter so it doesn't get clumpy on there.
Thick.
Exactly.
You're doing a good job over here, Teresa.
I'm making the compote.
She's a professional.
How is Emma Reese going to celebrate Valentine's Day?
Well, you know, it's funny. I actually bought her a card because I was like, now I can buy a daughter card, so I did. And I do. We have some little goodies for her, but, you know. The real gift is that we get to be her parents, you know, so.
Now, do you know what Brandon's doing for Valentine's Day?
He said that he's going to make dinner on Saturday night. My only concern is that he cleans up dinner after Saturday night.
That is the way to show you love someone,
so
isn't it? The cleanup part.
Probably will be takeout, though, to be honest with you, right?
That's okay, too.
I don't care.
Light a few candles and save the crowds for another night. So you'll coat them in your pan, and sometimes if you have like kind of an awkward shaped dish like the heart, I cut little strips to make it fit. And then we're going to take some of this homemade compote and layer it on.
This is what Teresa was making.
This is what Teresa's making over there. Actually, Ryan, do you want to layer it up?
Yeah.
I want you to feel included as well.
Pro at this
Jen, I know you revamped your website.
I did. So we have the new website. It's a little more user-friendly, a little more exciting feel for the new year. So we have that on there. And I do have a good Throwback Thursday coming up that you can read today. And lots of exciting things as well. More recipes, another breakfast casserole.
Nice.
I did this really cool frittata with a hash brown bottom and eggs.
Is the baby in the kitchen with you a lot?
She is. I'm actually in the process of customizing this YouTube series because she currently sits in her high chair when I cook and bake, and I talk to her as though she understands, because she totally understands me.
I'm certain she does.
And we explain the process of how everything works, and so I think that would, hopefully viewers will get a kick out of that.
That'd be cute.
So
you have the oven preheated?
So the oven's preheated to 350, then we're going to continue. So basically we're making sandwiches. You can make this as big or small as you want it. So, you know, if you're cooking for one, make a little one. As you can see here up front, I made in a heart shape with a cookie cutter.
Oh, how adorable.
So you can cut it out. I actually use a fun trick with the powdered sugar. If you put a cookie cutter, a heart-shaped cookie cutter on the plate, and then you fill it with powdered sugar and lift it up, it will leave your
the pattern
mark,
right?
So it leaves it. You can do this with any shape, actually.
Are you picking
these up? A good trick to keep in mind.
Are you getting all these
I might be using these on Valentine's Day. This is pretty cute here. Look at
Yeah,
that.
so you got all these little
Nice.
shapes you could
I'm
do. I
good.
have
Give
some
that to
fresh
Brandon.
whipped cream there you can do.
You can use that this weekend.
And we have heart-shaped sprinkles. I have a little heart dish with the maple syrup, which is great. So you can continue to layer this with your jam, or the ultimate top just gets the fresh berries.
And then that one looks pretty tasty over there.
This is right. So we can add, if you want to add some fresh berries over top.
Okay.
And
then you just bake it, and that's that?
Right, we add fresh berries and white chocolate chips. Bake it for about a half an hour. You just want it good and crispy. Eggs are the fastest thing in the world to cook, so it doesn't really take too much time. It's just get the bread nice and crispy, and then when it's all set, add a few extra fresh berries.
Jen, thank you for the recipe. We'll find it on your blog.
Thanks a lot, Jen.
Jen.com.
There you go, and stay with